My name is Mac Webb. I am a special education teacher at Owensboro High School in Owensboro, Kentucky, and I want to present on identifying to empower students at risk. Um, it takes a village to raise a child. I think we've all heard that quote before, and at Owensboro High School it's no different. We have to work together as teams, and we do that in a vast majority of ways, including a professional learning committee. This is usually done in our disciplines. And you can see in this sample itinerary that in our PLCs, we want to check on students. We want to check on students that are struggling. We want to check on students that have some needs that maybe haven't been met. You can see we have transfer students where we discuss. We have intervention summaries where we had discussed the class time before, and we want to check up on these students each time because every student is different. We have a freshman project that meets monthly, and this is composed of freshman teachers that they bring concerns to the meeting. Maybe little Timmy has been acting out in class. Other teachers can chime in on, yes, he has, here's what I've done that works, and they offer intervention ideas back and forth to reduce some of the undesired behaviors. To do all this as a teamwork, we use Google Docs, and here is a sample where we have compiled attendance, suspensions, in-school removals, failing grades. That way we can all stay up to date on each of the students that are we responsible for their well-being. Here you can see a column called Project Orange, and I will discuss that a little bit later. Some of the key terms that I'd like to discuss is at risk. At risk is basically any student or group of students that is considered to have a higher probability of failing academically or dropping out of school. I believe that is very vague, and you can make an argument on, well, this could cause a student to drop out or fail. What we do when we identify at-risk students, we have collected data. We have looked to see who is absent, who is habitually absent, who is failing this class, who is struggling in certain different manners that would cause them to fall behind. And we do look into the diverse needs of the students and where they've come from, what their needs are regarding support, especially from adults and staff. Empowerment is basically taking a student and giving them the responsibility of their education, involving them, making them feel like I can do this, this is mine, I am in charge of my own decisions. So we want to empower all of these students that we have identified at risk. We want to involve them in their education process and let them know that they can take control and be responsible for their learning. Owensboro High School is a very diverse classroom, and this is one of my favorite quotes. Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. We have many students who, after high school, are going to go to the workforce. They're going to go to the military. Some will go to college. And what we want to do is we want to ensure that all the students after high school are prepared to be successful, no matter what it is. We're a school of about 12 to 1,300 students. 70.3 are free and reduced lunch. 13.5 is special education. 10.5 is homeless, and 34.7% are minority students. So we're a very diverse school, and many of these socioeconomic statuses, homelessness, those things affect our students every day in the classroom. And that has caused some of them to fall behind because of the lack of support, the lack of structure that they receive at home. And so those are usually the students that we have identified at risk, not necessarily always, but students that lack that structure and support are the ones that are usually falling behind. So those are the ones that we're seeking to identify and ensure that they have all the supports that they need from our staff. Our Project Orange folder was a intervention for these at-risk students where it was basically a mentorship where we worked with the students and we gave them that empowerment regarding their goals in the classroom. And we identified them through committees, absences, behaviors, referrals, failures. We put all of that together and said, here are the students. We each chose a few students that we would mentor and we would work with to identify but also reduce their at-risk behaviors. At our initial meeting, we had them do questionnaires, goals, behaviors, and things that motivate them. And you can go through and you can see it's just getting to know them. Okay, we want them to feel like somebody cares about them. We want to know what motivates them as far as if they met their goal, what could we provide to them? It could be helping the custodians. It could be eating lunch with their favorite person. Some of those seem small, but they could go a long way with high school students. And then finally, we have a goal setting form. They know what they need to improve on. So we let them take control of that and say, here's my goal, here's what I want to do, and here's how I'm going to get there. Obviously, we would have to follow up, and we follow up with a goal contract where we say, okay, here's what you said you were going to do. Here's what you've done so far. What do you think you need to change to meet your goal? And we allow them to write this down. They keep a copy, we keep a copy, so we can hold each other accountable regarding their goals and their behaviors in the classroom. And then finally, we have to do data collection to see where we are, where we went throughout the year, and where we're going to go next year. So we document all of this into Google Documents that says, here's the intervention, here's what happened, here's the failures, here's the reason they're failing, and we can kind of create a roadmap of what needs to be improved on now. Again, we want to remove some of these students from being labeled at risk and give them that empowerment to take over their education and have that responsibility. This is a really good quote. Tell me I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. If we involve the students in their education, we make them feel responsibility for their goals, we let them set goals, and we provide them all of the support that they need to master those goals, then we will have a group of students that are empowered, that care about their education because of X, Y, and Z. This does not have to be done across departments. This can be done in your classroom. You can identify a student and say, Timmy is really struggling. I'm going to sit down with him. I'm going to find out what is going on. I'm going to see what makes him tick and let him set some goals. That way, me and him together could hold each other accountable on completing those goals and then continuously moving forward so that these students, these diverse students that come to us with all of the needs, we can help them the best way and give them the most support that they would need to move out of the at-risk labeling and be productive members in our classroom, in our schools, and in our society.